I found a new friend underneath my pillow.
Okay, so now the question is, should you buy one of these things? I made a little visual aid to talk about the cost. And I'm going to compare starting with a regular PMR to the PMR Special Edition, which is what I have. Okay, so if you're starting the regular PMR, you're going to spend $275 on the gun. You're going to need a clamping feed neck, in my view. That's another $25. I would put the sling trigger on either gun, so that's $30. I think you're going to want an on-off. The CP, I think, is the best on-off available. That's $33. And you're going to need an aluminum back cap. If you start with the Special Edition, it's going to cost you $320 out of the box. The feed neck, the clamping feed neck's included. I think you're going to want the trigger. I think you're going to want an on-off, but the aluminum back cap is also included, so you won't have to upgrade that. Either way, you're looking at about $380, whichever way you start. For $1 more for the Special Edition, you get the badass urban camo, and you get the 2-piece barrel, which I think is great. 14-inch barrel. The regular PMR comes with a 12-inch barrel, one piece. So $380, $385. So the question is sort of what are your options if that's the kind of money you're looking to spend? I think a very real and good option would be to get an SLG, the Proto SLG, the super light gun, and upgrade that. That thing retails for what, $200, and you'd spend probably another 80 or 100 on ups, to get a feed neck, to get an on-off, etc. So you're looking at less than $300 for a great gun. Doesn't come with the badass urban camo though, does it? So that's one thing. You could do an upped ion. I'm not an ion fan, so there are plenty of people who are, and I'm sure there are lots of good ups you could buy for it. That's one way you could go. I think that the real contender in this sort of ballpark range is the Mini, the invert Mini. For $325, it comes with just about everything you need. It's a poppet valve gun, so different technology, fewer O-rings, probably easier to maintain, maybe a little more kick, maybe a little louder. Mini's kind of a weird gun. It's got there's no macro line on the outside. It's all the gas passage is all internal. So kind of interesting. The one thing about the Mini is because of the way that it works, there are no on-offs available for it. You can't get a Mini on-off. What you need to do is get new designs, I think, make something called a thread saver, which is basically an on-off that will screw into the back of your existing ASA. That's a really good option for you. That's about $30. So for a Mini with a thread saver, you're looking at $355 versus $383 for this. I think that's something you really would want to consider. When I held the Mini, it felt too small to me. Like it felt really small in my hand. I felt like I was holding a small person's gun. That was probably the biggest reason I went with the PMR instead of the Mini. Okay, at 380, you're hitting distance from 425, and at that point you're getting into some of the dangerous power guns. You're getting into their G3 or their F8, both great guns, both don't need any upgrades out of the box, just super guns. And then or you could get a used gun. There's a whole world of options available. Around $400 for a used gun. You could get a Timmy, you could get a DM, a PM, an old E-Tech. For $200, you could get an F7 Fusion, great gun. So those are all options. Anyway, I'm pretty happy with the rail now that I've got it where I want it. I've got the on-off coming, but it's a great gun. It's a great gun. I think it looks great and it shoots darts and it's awesome. So I'm not going to sit here and obliterate a tree with it for you. A lot of reviews do that, but take my word for it. If I shoot into the tree will turn colors. Anyhow, take it easy. Bye.
Are you the guy who hits me in the eye?